and welcome. This is Young Cooperative Gamers, and I'm the Cursed Monk.
And I'm Mr. Grumpy, and today we're playing Magic the Gathering 2013. And I'm going to be starting off with the Goblin deck, where I'm going to be summoning goblins all over the place. There's going to be goblins and goblins.
And I'm going to take advantage of all those goblins, and I'm going to be using the white deck, which revolves around getting life for every unit summoned.
And we're up against Talrand, who's going to be up in the air and going to have lots and lots of tokens.
And we're up against Garrick and his huge axe, and mainly he focuses on super powerful monsters that crush you into dust.
And he definitely will crush a lot of goblins along the way.
We can only hope. So, let's get this on the way.
And here we are. We've selected our hands. I've gone for 2 land because I have very cheap cards at the moment, so everything will be perfectly fine.
I've also followed in suit and taken 2 land. Hopefully we can afford some of the more expensive cards later on.
If you are new to Magic the Gathering, there will be a link in the description to Monk's tutorial video, which will allow you to understand what's going on. If something new and exciting turns up, we will also cover it. For example, this goblin does have haste, but that is covered in the tutorial video.
I think the most important thing to note is this is a standard one-on-one, as you've probably noticed. However, you do have a shared health pool of 30 between the two of you, irregardless of which hero gets attacked.
And Talrand is just sleight-of-handing all the time, so it means he takes 2 cards. One of the cards goes into his hand, and the other one goes to the bottom of his deck. And Garrick wants land. Lots and lots of land. I'm just going to carry on summoning goblins. I think that's a good plan.
Speaking of land, I wouldn't mind some more, but I'm going to go right ahead and play one of my favourite cards in this deck, where we get 1 health every turn of new turn of ours.
And I'm going to be gaining +2 every single time this goblin attacks with other goblins. So not this turn, because again, summoning sickness, but next turn we're going to have lots of goblin attacking.
More importantly, I think we have to note that that card is actually immune to blue, which Talrand is. So that card can just walk straight in there, and unless Garrick can stop him, which at the minute he can't, he's going to be doing quite a bit of damage to Talrand.
Flying creatures he controls get +1/+1, which is not very bad when he's not got any creatures.
All those non-creatures, they're getting all that 1/1 extra boost. It was worth the mana.
Yeah, I mean, why summon a monster when you could just go for 1/1 upgrades? No, I might cycle that later. I think I'll just summon my Goblin Bomber. There we go.
Well, I've summoned a pretty impressive flying card. It doesn't look good at the minute with a 1/1. However, every time we manage to do damage to the enemy players, which at the minute we can just sail straight over and do that, then we actually gain an extra counter. The counters give us an extra 1 attack and an extra 1 health. So it builds up pretty quickly.
I think I'll skip this attack. We'll deal with that 2/2 boar in a little bit.
Now that boar can be eaten at any time with its active ability, where the boar is actually sacrificed and destroyed. However, they do gain 4 life. Generally that's preferable to being, for example, your card Shock. Does do 2 damage, however Garrick can just sacrifice that card, which takes priority. Therefore you would actually gain life and you would lose the effect of the spell.
And speaking of tokens, here comes Talrand's tokens. He's used a card to give himself 2, and then they were 2/2, and we give him +1/+1, so then now they're 3/3, and this guy is going to be a little bit of trouble. He was going to sacrifice himself anyway, so I'll just sacrifice him this way instead.
So the 2 sacrificial creatures going at it.
Quickly, sacrifice each other.
Hot cooked boar on the meal tonight. So those flying cards are going to give us a bit of trouble, since I'm the only one in the air and I can't actually power up at the minute because I can't get to their players to gain counters.
Do have a couple of 2/2s there, which could help. That will be giving us more life as it enters the field. On me, on the other hand, I'm going to use this for cycling. So I'm going to just get rid of it, deal some damage. It's probably not going to do much, but I could then hit it with a shock and get rid of it. That gives us a little bit of a problem.
Cycling works differently to paying the cost of the card. Instead, you're paying the cost of the cycle, which is in the description, This allows you to draw a new card, which is pretty reasonable if you don't like the card, and it also gives you extra effects.
For example, my Gem Palm Incinerator was going X damage. X was the number of goblins on the field, which was 2. So I was able to take out, do 2 damage, and then 2 damage from shock, which means I was able to take out one of the flyers. Now, I could have taken out the 4/4, but we have a lot of ground defense and not a lot of air defense. I could easily just sacrifice my 1/1, and we'd take no damage. So I made the decision to kill the flying card instead.
Pretty wise decision. Hopefully it pays off in the long run.
Indeed. And even more cards.
The card takes back a spell back from the graveyard. Unfortunately, he's chosen to take his double 3/3 token card back out, which we're going to see on the next turn, most likely.
Looks like my sacrifice would have been in vain either way. I would have killed the 4/4 and he would have put another one down. Killed the tokens, he would have got more tokens. Such is luck. And here comes my sacrificial goblin.
So a 1/1 can block a 4/4 since that creature doesn't have a special ability known as Trample. Therefore, all of the damage is actually wasted on that goblin. All 4 damage points are used on the 1 health, basically negating that attack for the cost of 1 life. So I'd say that was worth it.
We're not looking like we're in a good spot here, Monk.
Well, let's try and play a little trap of our own. So we're going to go right ahead and attack with a 2/2, which looks very tasty for that 3/3 in the sky. Hopefully he'll fall for it. He will. We're going to stop the timer, and we're going to play this card. Moment of Heroism gives me an extra 2 attack, an extra 2 life, meaning I'll survive the counter, and I also gain lifelink. So we are actually going to gain life back to our health pool. And
it's a double trap.
Fog. Fog means that no damage is done this turn. It is completely nullified. I think is the sufficient answer to that.
Yeah, thanks, computer. That
was great.
That was nice. That's cool of you. It's cool. And there goes the fog.
Garrick's deck, we didn't actually mention, but also revolves around setting up traps, making his card more powerful, and generally being a dick when it counts most if playing against a human player.
That's true, and even more flying cards. I'm starting to regret my decision of goblins, and more goblins.
Goblins can't attack air. I think this is
oh, and the only giant back.
The only creature that could have made flying possible just got returned.
Hexproof means that we can't target it with a single targeted spell, so we can't just
still
kill it
affected by
outright.
splash though, which unfortunately I don't have anything like that.
This one's gonna hurt.
Well, let's take off one of those 4/4s at the cost of one of my creatures.
I'm gonna. Okay, I'll block with the other one.
I think you should probably keep that. Actually, that could be more useful later on.
All right, I'll use your better judgment.
An immunity against blue, ladies and gentlemen, is a lot more useful than sacrificing it for 4 health. You've got to remember all that life gain we have. We're actually still ahead of them, and actually ahead of our initial health value.
It's too true. Keep forgetting how useful that little white deck is. More goblins. More flying cards.
Hopefully there should be a sufficient number of flying cards that I can possibly scare them a little bit. I don't think I've quite reached that critical point yet.
Or at least have us not die a painful and horrific death.
Something that we're always aiming for.
Yeah. Too true.
I'm not doing too well on the land front so far. I've only actually got 4 land cards compared to the 7 that Garrick's got. And with none in hand, that's not going to change. Oh dear.
It just gets to copy, which means he gets to pull down another thing.
Which means he gets to pull copy back, I think.
Is he copying copy?
He pulled back a card that allows him to withdraw a magic card, and he chose to withdraw copy. And he just stomped all over my field. Not entirely sure how that works, and that's destroyed my field.
He's going to have to destroy one of his own things. That was a bit silly.
Oh, Garrick, the most friendly team player ever. We have seen him destroy quite a lot of friendly equipment in the past.
It's very nice to see one of those rings gone. Oh dear. Sacrificial everything is going down now. We'll take that out. It's unfortunate. I really want to use that giant.
So I am blocking with my moth, and the moth gives us 4 life whenever it blocks. It is going to die, as it only has 1 health, but that negates their 4 attack and actually gives us 4 life, which should help with everything else.
Yeah, all this life we're about to lose. Oh, now I get Goblin Bomb. Brilliant. Goblin Grenade would allow me to sacrifice a Goblin in order to do 5 damage, but I really don't want to get rid of my Goblin Pile Driver. Really, really don't. But, I mean, we're not really using him at the same time.
That is true. Well, throw him on in there and we'll show how the Goblin deck works.
Sacrificial Goblin, go!
So the Goblin deck revolves a lot around Goblins aren't worth much. Therefore, suicide is generally their way of thinking. Like very expendable units that can do quite large amounts of damage.
I'm probably going to regret doing that as soon as... I just feel that it's just going to be like, well, you just killed that 4-4, I'm just going to put another 4-4 down on the field.
More 4-4s. Garrick hasn't really unleashed anything too scary, although he does seem to have a lot of 4-4s, which add up pretty quickly. Not so much for the damage they can do, but very few cards can actually do enough damage to kill them, especially at this point in the game.
This is meaning...
it's a direct duel.
Yeah, the card forces one card to fight with another, so we can easily just pick off our lower cards without having to risk anything.
Including, as you saw, that air unit, a unit which you would not be able to attack, and that is the wolf pack. Oh dear.
Oh dear. Well, we tried, Monk. We really did. But
we did, and it's ended pretty brutally. I like it.
Yes. Sometimes you just get brutalised by the computer. Sometimes they get the cards, and sometimes we do instead.
Roughly all the time.
Such is the manner of Magic the Gathering, I was going to say, but it does seem sometimes the computer gets the cards and we get nothing. I will think we'd be wrapping this up with us dying horrifically. The wolf pack allowed him to summon 1 wolf for every 1 forest, so he got 6 tokens. He's also got a ring.
Or a 9 if you're actually using numbers.
Or a 9, yes. If I could actually count, that's a 9, not a 6. Upside down things confuse me. I just got scared and...
and just stomped on my creature.
Killed your artifact with copy. It's clever. It's not very nice, but it's clever.
Dick move, but I like it. Oh dear.
And we die.
Yep, that's... Nope, I'm going to heroically block
this
1-2 over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, take that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We won. Moral
Nope.
victory. Thanks very much for watching.
We hope to see you again next time.